There is a thing I can do that no one else at the Academy can, and I have sworn never to do it. When I interface, when I connect the collective's old hardware, still buried in my skull, directly into a machine, I become the machine. I think faster than any human, hold 10,000 variables at once, feel a reactor the way you feel your own hand. It is the most powerful thing about me. It is also the thing that could take me back. Every time the filigree on my face wakes, something vast and patient in the dark notices, so I keep it hidden. I ace the Sims with my mind alone, cold and unaided, and I let the fear that earns me be the ordinary fear of a strange, competent girl, not the deeper terror of what I truly am. That was the plan. The plan lasted until the second joint exercise, when the Ascendancy and the Union put 200 cadets aboard a decommissioned training ship, ran a live full-crew drill, and the ship, the real ship, not a simulation, began, quietly, to die. It was not sabotage. It was age. A coolant line on the old training vessel, stressed past its rating by the drill, ruptured for real. The reactor began to climb. Alarms. Actual alarms this time, not sim alarms. And 200 cadets from 2 rival nations, most of whom had never faced a genuine emergency, suddenly discovering that fear is very different when the ship is really on fire. I felt the reactor's climb through my boots before the alarms caught up. I always feel it first. That is the gift. And the warning, the instructors triggered evacuation. But the reactor was climbing faster than the models predicted, and the manual shutdown required a stabilization sequence too fast and too complex for any human hand. 1,000 coolant adjustments per second, computed live, or the core would breach and take the ship and everyone aboard. I had seen this exact death before, on my own station. On my 9th day, I knew precisely one way to stop it, and I had sworn I would never do it again. Kalen found me in the chaos. Of course he did. He moves toward trouble the way I move toward stillness. The core's going, he said, fast, gripping a rail as the deck bucked. The instructors are evacuating everyone. But the shutdown won't run in time. There's no crew fast enough. He looked at me. Really looked. The way he did in the corridor. You know something, he said. Your face. You know a way. I said nothing. He said, quieter. 200 people, Annika. I already knew the number. I always know the number. Here is the calculation I made, hiantu, in the half-second before I decided. If I interface, I save 200 lives. And I reveal, in front of 2 nations, that the reclaimed drone can plug herself into machinery and command it like a limb. The Union will not see a hero. They will see their nightmare confirmed. And somewhere far off in the dark, the collective will feel me light up like a flare and be reminded exactly where I am. 200 lives on one side. My freedom, my safety, my hard-won humanity on the other. It was not a hard choice. It only felt like one. Soundsaid closed Lifewing Priba when mooted not. I ran for the reactor control station. Kalen ran with me. I did not ask him to. He simply did, which I have added to the file I keep on him. At the console, I found the interface port, standard on old military ships, dormant for decades. I pulled back my hair. The silver filigree along my cheekbone was already beginning to glow, waking on its own, eager, the way it always is. Kalen saw it light up and went very still. "What is that?" he breathed. "The thing they made me?" I said. "Look away if you're going to be afraid." I would looked by. He did not look away. I connected, and for 90 seconds I was not a person. I was the reactor. 10,000 valves and flows and temperatures, a small sun trying to tear itself apart, and my mind spread across all of it at once, holding it, adjusting it, thinking it back from the edge with the raw computation, the collective drilled into me. Before I had a name, it is the thing I am most ashamed of being. And I used it, again, to keep 200 strangers alive. The gift and the wound are the same wire, hiantu. I have never once been able to separate them. In the flood of it, distant and vast and patient, I felt the old chorus brush my mind. Not words, a pull. "We feel you. Come home." Every time I interface, it finds me faster, reaches a little further. I held the reactor stable with one part of my mind and, with another, I shut the door on the collective. Not yet. Maybe never. We, O said, the way you hold a door against a flood while your arms shake. The core steadied. The alarms went quiet. 200 cadets, on the far side of the ship, would never know how close they came, or who. I disconnected and fell against the console, my implant burning, a thin line of blood at my nose, the toll it always takes. And I turned around into exactly the silence I had feared. The evacuation had stalled at the bulkhead. A cluster of cadets and one instructor had seen the whole thing, seen the glow, seen the girl plug herself into the ship's heart and command it. They were alive because of it, and they looked at me the way you look at the thing you were always warned about, finally standing in front of you, bleeding and true. The Union's reaction was swift and cold. Not gratitude. Investigation. Within a day, the word was everywhere. The reclaimed cadet can interface, can G-strated, can inamixic, Pa King, can seize control of any machine with her mind, the way the collective seizes worlds. It did not matter that I had saved the ship. It mattered that I could have taken it. My greatest act of humanity became the proof of my greatest danger. Cadets who had almost warmed to me stepped back again, further than before. I had traded 200 lives for every inch of belonging I had earned. I would do it again. I would do it again. That is the wound of it. I would always do it again. Commander Ezzy fought for me. I learned this later. She stood in front of a review board and argued that a weapon that chooses to save is the opposite of a weapon. But even she could not undo the fear. "You revealed the interface," she told me afterward, not unkindly. "You knew what it would cost you. You did it anyway." That was either the bravest thing I've seen a cadet do, or the most self-destructive. With you, Annika, I am no longer certain those are different things. Neither am I. Commander. That is rather the point. One person was not afraid. You will have guessed who. Kalen Voss had seen the whole thing up close. The glow, the interface, the blood, closer than anyone, and he alone came looking for me. Afterward, not with fear, but with something that unsettled me far more. Fascination. He found me in the medical bay and sat down across from me without being invited, which no one from my own side would have done. That, he said, was the most incredible thing I have ever seen. And everyone's treating you like a bomb. I am a bomb, I said. No, he said. A bomb doesn't get to choose. You did. I did not know what to do with him, hiantu. My entire life. The interface has drawn exactly two responses: fear or the collective's hunger. Kalen gave a third. He leaned forward and asked how it felt. Not what I did, but what it was like to be the reactor, to hold a sun. No one had ever asked me that. I told him the truth, that it is the most alive and the most lost I ever feel, both at once, and that I am always afraid I will like being the machine too much to come back. He nodded slowly. So it's the best and worst thing about you, he said. Yes, I said. That's most people's best thing, he said. You just have the volume turned all the way up. That sentence has stayed with me. He was right, and he did not even know how right. The interface is not a separate curse bolted onto an otherwise normal cadet. It is my competence, my calm, my whole liberated mind, turned all the way up until the same power that saves the ship is the power that could unmake me. My gift does not sit beside my wound. My gift is my wound, sharpened to its finest point. I cannot have one without the other. I have tried. There is no version of me that keeps the light and loses the flare. The union grounded me from interface duty, as if forbidding it changes what I am. Ezzy delivered the order and then, quietly, off the record, added, "They can forbid you from using it. They cannot forbid you from being the person who would. When the next reactor climbs, and out here, cadet, there is always a next reactor. I know exactly who I want at that console. Regulations be damned. She is the only one on my side who understands that a wound you would reopen to save a stranger is not a danger. It is a definition of a person." Vessel and I talked it through that night. I told the ship mind I was tired of my best trait being the reason I am alone. Consider that a flat, harmless version of you would have let 200 people die today and been beloved for it. And a dangerous version of you saved them and is feared for it. The universe does not always let good and safe be the same word, Annika. Sometimes you must choose which one to be. Which did I choose? My Ekern Jeffer in phase worked for a wheels reeks, built condestolt, possible against it. Sinsinger givig? Willinden said. Good. You chose good. It cost you safe. It usually does. I could not sleep. And for once the silence was not the reason. I lay in the dark, holding the shape of the question this day had carved into me. Everyone has a gift. The thing they are best at. The thing that could make them shine. And I am starting to think. I'm starting to think that for most people, if they look honestly, the gift and the ache come from the same place. The one who loves deepest, hurts deepest. The one who sees most clearly is most alone. The one who can hold a sun can be pulled back into the dark. Is that only true for me? Or is it true for everyone, and I am simply the one with the volume turned up? That is what I want to ask you. Hiantu, your greatest gift. The thing that is most powerfully, dangerously, you when you look closely at it. Is it also the source of your deepest wound? Does the thing that makes you extraordinary also make you ache, or afraid, or alone? Because I saved 200 lives with the exact thing that could cost me my humanity, and I cannot tell anymore whether I am blessed or cursed, or whether, for a person, those were ever two different words. My research into being a person logged its heaviest entry today. Data point. I saved 200 strangers with the one power that could damn me. Data point. My own side fears me for it. My rival alone found it beautiful. Data point. My gift and my wound are not neighbors. They are the same wire glowing on my face. I cannot cut one without cutting the other. I have decided to stop trying. A person, I think, is someone who carries a gift they cannot separate from their wound and keeps giving it anyway. I am ANNIKA. Today, my greatest power became my greatest liability in front of two nations. And the only one who was not afraid was the boy I am meant to fight. I would make the same choice again tomorrow, and the day after, and every day the reactor climbs. Because a gift you only keep when it costs nothing was never a gift at all. It was just a talent. The wound is what makes it mean something. I am beginning, slowly, to be grateful for the wound. Do not tell the review board. So here is my fourth log query. Hiantu. Your greatest gift, is it also your deepest wound? The two of them, the same wire. Check my arithmetic in the comments. Or correct it. I saved 200 lives today with the very thing that could unmake me. And I need to know if that terrible arithmetic is mine alone or the price of admission for everyone who was ever good at anything that mattered. Keep my log. I graduate soon, into the dark, where the reactors are real, and so is the pull. I will see you there.